Welcome everyone, it's Emcee Rapology. I'm going to bring you the news that's transpired in the last month or so. Now, I'm going to start off at the top of the list, and this one deserves to be on the top of the list because it is the untimely passing of a Crip legend who had such a big influence on gang culture in LA, and I'm talking about Seneca Shakur. Now, Seneca is no relation to 2pac Shakur, although 2pac Shakur and Seneca were actually friends, and they did cross paths at certain points during the short-lived life of 2pac's Shakur. Now, Seneca Shakur took on this name as an appellation in the mid to late 80s. So this was done because the actual real name of Seneca Shakur was Cody Scott. Now, he did this because he had a bit of a transformation while he went to prison. Now, this kind of gang member was someone that was well respected in his time and was one of the big Crip shot callers. Now, I'm going to call him Monster Cody because everyone on the street level called him Monster Cody. And this Monster Cody unfortunately passed away, and I'm going to talk about that. It didn't get a lot of shade, and I think that it should have. It's not something that was really mentioned in many news media circles in hip-hop, and I was surprised because this man actually influenced 2pac to some degree. Now, Monster Cody had the pleasure of interviewing 2pac's murderer back in '96 for the Vibe magazine. This was when Monster Cody really became known to the mainstream. At the time, it was just like not long after 2pac's passing, and Monster Cody interviewed Orlando Anderson for the Vibe magazine. Now, in '93, I remember Monster Cody had a series of his memoirs released in a book called Monster. I think it was the autobiography of an LA gang member, if I remember correctly, was the title. And this book talked about how Monster Cody was drawn into the gangster lifestyle. This was in his own words. He talked about his experiences as a gangster, what he witnessed in jail, and how he transformed himself into a black national and became very political. Now, Monster Cody was someone that tried to turn his life around, and he was, like I said, personal friends with 2pac, and someone that influenced gang culture in a way that really was destructive at the start, but then he tried to turn people away from that gang culture because he realized how destructive it was to his own community. So he tried his best to try and discourage people from walking that same path that he did. Now, this man, struggled all his life. He was found deceased, though, in a homeless shelter, in a tent, in one of these encampments for the homeless in Cali. So, it's a sad outcome for someone that lived a lifestyle that, would scare most people. So this man was brutal. I mean, when he was 13 years old, he earned the moniker Monster from, nearly killing someone, but by bashing their head in so bad that, they were absolutely brutalized. So this man was no saint, and he doesn't purport to be in his memoirs. He is brutally honest in them. Anyone that's ever read his autobiography can vouch for that. But this man also sought redemption for the lifestyle that he lived. It's unfortunate, though, he ended up very destitute, nothing to his name, and, was found in a homeless tent. So, like, he's going, the passing of this man is being investigated. So there is some suspicion on his passing, but, there is no official word yet on the actual cause of death of this man. Now, on a lighter note, something that, we should all be grateful for is something I want to bring to people's attention. Some people may not even be aware of this, but Young Noble from the Outlawz suffered a heart attack and was almost claimed. Now, yes, that's right. Young Noble suffered a serious heart attack. He almost lost his life, but due to medical intervention, he was saved, and Young Noble now is counting his blessings. So this is someone who actually said that his heart attack can be attributed to the lifestyle that he's been living for many years, and that lifestyle includes a lot of unsalubrious foods and things that are not good for the body. So he's actually saying now that this is a big wake up call for Young Noble. He's talked about this on his IG. He's brutally honest as well. He's saying that he is going to change his lifestyle now for the better. And a lot of MCs, they fall into this unhealthy lifestyle of touring, and it's really a detrimental lifestyle choice to be an artist, because you don't always have healthy foods available when you're on the road touring, and it can't, you don't sleep well, all these things that play a toll in people's health. So, big ups to Young Noble. I hope that he, really does something about his health. He said he would, and we hope that he gets fit and healthy. His co-member from the Outlawz, Edie, has been getting into shape. So, hopefully Young Noble can keep his high blood pressure under control and get to, his health goals happening and get back into shape. And, he hopefully he doesn't suffer another heart attack, because it's horrible, this man has done so much for 2pac's legacy. So we only hope that he pulls through. Now, the next subject matter I want to talk about, I want to actually know how many people would even know about this. I'm talking about something that DJ Scandalous brought to light, and it was interesting because it's something that I had heard about but didn't quite, really look into too much over the years. But that was a 2pac album that 2pac recorded when he was on death row in 95, called Thug Life Volume 2, Still I Rise. Now, I'd seen that heading many a times over the years, didn't really look too much into it, but DJ Scandalous went into detail here. He talked about songs that were on this album. I'm talking about songs like Letter to the President, Teardrops and Closed Casket, Soon as I Get Home, Play Your Cards Right, Secrets of War, What's Next, He versus She, Still Ballin', Fade Me, Grab the Mic, Fuck 'Em All, There You Go, Where You Been, Jack Move, and several other tracks. Now, the thing is that a lot of these songs ended up on the Still I Rise album. A couple of these songs ended up on the Better Days album, and some songs I don't think have been released. They might have been leaked but haven't been released. I'm sure there's one or two songs on that list that have never been heard before. But this man, DJ Scandalous, is the man that anyone needs to go to that wants to know anything about any Pac song that Pac ever recorded. This man knows the ins and outs of every song, released or unreleased or unleaked. This is your man. He has supreme knowledge when it comes to 2pac and 2pac's music. So, yeah, I highly recommend you jump on DJ Scandalous's Facebook page and add him if you want to learn something new about Pac's legacy. Every day this man has knowledge, and he has a lot of it. It's intense. But no, it's very good. Now, finally, I just want to finish up this news podcast and talk about something that happened a while back now, but I'm talking about the passing of Shock G from Digital Underground. Some more information has come out about that passing, and an autopsy result has revealed that Shock G passed away from the result of mixing painkiller medication and alcohol. It's unfortunate. It's a preventable death, but it's one that's all too common in hip-hop. Now, these artists, they're passing away in their mid-50s. Just look at DMX. We have a look at, even going back some time to Pimp C, they pass away too early. So people have to make a concerted effort to encourage MCs to start living healthier lifestyles and making the right lifestyle choices, because we are going to lose a lot more from hip-hop if there is not a general push, if if the community does not push, the healthy agenda onto these MCs, then we will lose a lot more artists. So, we've kind of got to preserve the culture, try and, reduce these, untimely events happening in hip hop, save some more lives, get people on the right path of living healthy. We need these musicians, these artists, these icons alive because, we need the culture to stay alive. When these guys pass away, a bit of the culture dies with them. So, Anyway, I'm Emcee Rapology, just, giving you my take on things and, giving you some news and, what I think about things. Now, I want you to check out the description of this podcast, check out my new song called Trying to Keep It All G. It is actually mixed and mastered by DJ Denno. It is a rap to a beat that was made by Tazzah P. This song is dope. Get onto it. Now, I'm going to wrap this up now. Be sure to keep following my podcast. Subscribe. I'm Emcee Rapology. Peace.